The Art Merit Badge by Margaret Welch. Art is an expression of the artist. It comes in many different forms, including performance art, culinary art, environmental art, ceramics, painting, drawing, sculpture, weaving, photography, and film. All can be used to express feelings and to shape thoughts of a nation. During the Black cultural revolution of the early 1900s, the Harlem Renaissance showed an expression of Black artists through different mediums. Propaganda posters and films were used in Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, and even the United States to boost morale and to shape thoughts, good and bad. The next question of how art can impact you and how can art make you feel are personal questions, so you can pause the video now and answer them. There are 13 elements of art that we're about to discuss. Let's begin with the line. A line is a mark made by a pointed tool such as a brush, pen, or stick, a moving point. Shape. A shape is a flat, enclosed area that has two dimensions, length and width. Artists use both geometric and organic shapes. Color. Color is one of the most dominant elements. It is created by light. There are three properties of color: hue, value, and intensity. Space. Space is used to create the illusion of depth. Space can be two-dimensional, three-dimensional, negative, and/or positive. Value. Value is the degrees of lightness or darkness. The difference between values is called value contrast. Form. Form are objects that are three-dimensional, having length, width, and height. They can be viewed from many sides. Forms take up space and volume. Texture. Texture describes the feel of an actual surface. The surface quality of an object can be real or implied. Variety. Variety is the complement to unity and harmony and is needed to create visual interest. Without unity and harmony, an image is chaotic and unreadable. Without variety, it is dull and uninteresting. Good design is achieved through the balance of unity and variety. The elements need to be alike enough so that we perceive them as belonging together, and different enough to be interesting. Emphasis. Emphasis is the principle of visual organization that suggests that certain elements should assume more importance than others in the same composition. It contributes to organic unity by emphasizing the fact that there is one main feature and that the other elements are subordinate to it. In the example, notice how the smaller elements seem to recede into the background, while the larger elements come to the front. Pay attention to both scale and value of the objects that recede and advance. Proportion. Proportion is the comparison of dimensions or distribution of forms. It is the relationship in scale between one element and another, or between a whole object and one of its parts. Different proportions within a composition can relate to different kinds of balance or symmetry, and can establish visual weight and depth. Unity. Unity in art and design is the visually satisfying effect of combining similar related elements, for instance, adjacent colors on the color wheel, similar shapes, etc. Rhythm. Rhythm is a continuance, a flow, or feeling of movement achieved by the repetition of regulated visual information. Balance. Balance is a feeling of equality in weight, attention, or attraction of the various visual elements within the pictorial field as a means of accomplishing organic unity. The pictures on the bottom from left to right are radial symmetry, asymmetry, approximate symmetry, and symmetry. Now that you've learned about the 13 principles of the design, return to requirement 2 to show examples of each element by drawing a line, value, shape, form, space, color, and texture. For requirement 4, you need to render a subject of your choice in 4 of these ways: pen and ink, watercolors, pencil, pastels, oil paints, tempera, acrylics, charcoal, computer drawing, or painting. If you're doing this merit badge at home, I recommend doing pen and ink, pencil, computer drawing or painting, and whatever else you can find. Remember to keep these works of art and bring them to your merit badge counselor so that they can sign off on this requirement. For requirement 5, you have to do one of the following. If you're doing this merit badge at home, I recommend doing 5B because the merit badge workbook provides boxes for you to draw a comic strip that will tell a story. For requirement 6, you need to visit a museum, art exhibit, art gallery, artist co-op, or artist workshop. If your troop allows, you can take a virtual tour of any museum by using the following site, which is also found on the Merit Badge website. Make sure you specify which museum you visited and which exhibits were most interesting to you. If your troop does not allow a virtual tour, visit a local museum to complete this requirement. For the final requirement in the Art Merit Badge, find out about 3 career opportunities in art. Pick one and find out the education, training, and experience required for this profession. Then discuss with your counselor and explain why this profession might interest you. Resources for finding art careers can be found on the Merit Badge website.